I'm Dr. Jordin Wiggins, and this is the Pleasure Principles podcast. Join me on this journey where sex, science, and sensuality meet. Let's change the conversation around sex and pleasure together. Hey, Superwomen. There are so many things I'm excited to share with you this year. Obviously, my mission, my why I'm on this planet is to help high achieving, overgiving, recovering perfectionists, codependents, more pleasure, health, orgasms, fulfillment. Working on a podcast series, basically going to be a Superwomen's training guide for more pleasure. It's not just the tips, techniques, it's more about how to create pleasurable experiences in and out of the bedroom for high achieving women like us. And I'm super excited about it. My coach is like, don't give this for free on a podcast, but it feels good. So I'm excited to share that with you, and we'll carry this series through like the whole of 2024. So I'm excited. Did I say I was excited? Today, we're going to focus on high achieving women who gracefully navigate boardrooms, employee dynamics, sales, run companies by day, but leave something to be desired in the art of digital seduction. Yes, I'm talking about sexting, Superwoman. I want to peel back the layers and unmask the text tango of successful women and sexting. Now, first, for your Superwoman brain, because I know what you're saying. Like, I don't have time for this. I have so much to offer. I don't need to be a good sexter. Well, I think you should make it for several reasons. Benefits of sexting include enhancing intimacy and connection. What do Superwomen desire? Boosting confidence and body positivity. Turning the pleasure centers in your brain back on. Because we know if you are experiencing feminine burnout, if you are overwhelmed, not sleeping through the night, brain fog, all the things, the pleasure centers in your brain are turned off. Your nervous system, your stress response, your adrenal glands, it is off. We are in fight, flight, or freeze majority of the time. And after working with over 2,000 high achieving women, I can see some patterns, some commonalities, and that's why you're here. Other benefits of texting, great for libido, or those of you with responsive desire. You can find more about this in my book, The Pink Canary. But responsive desire means that the context needs to be overly sexual for you to get turned on. You're like a pot to boil. You don't really want to have it. You don't really think about having it. But when you do have it, or once you finally get going, get intimate, then it's good. And really just who doesn't want more turn on or higher libido? Sexting encourages communication, and it is great for long distance relationships and work travel. Nothing like keeping things a little spicy, so when you get to see each other, there can be some really hot sex. At the Feminine Mentorship Fall Retreat, we were working on power dynamics. Most superwomen, high achieving, overgiving people pleasers that like to do things right. We tend to kind of fall on the yang, masculine, dominant side of things. We are great at telling people what to do or asking for things in business and when the stakes are high, running our households. We're used to calling the shots, run massive companies, dictate what goes on in an operating room, or running, things for a massive staff. You've won awards, you have huge notoriety. And you wouldn't have gotten there if you weren't good at doing, at taking action. So these women, with all of this career and corporate success, I had them blushing, giggling like schoolgirls, and saying, I can't say that. And they mean to their husband of 20 years. One might assume that the confidence is transferable. And let's face it, this is like hard won confidence. And there's a lot of imposter syndrome filled with several pleasure thresholds along the way. And the dichotomy lies in the transition from the assertive boss business communications and the subtle nuances of suggestive texts. And let's be real, we also spend a lot of time overthinking and overanalyzing our business emails and texts. In fact, it's one of the things that I was talking to one of the grads of the feminine mentorship about. She saves time daily by not doing this anymore now that she's connected to her feminine power and ability to communicate. So this makes you more efficient. The grads are now commanding their power over text during intimacy and in their careers. Just got a message in the group chat actually that said, I literally cannot believe how far my husband and I have come. That is why I want you to know there are 2 spots left. It is not too late to join. If you told yourself that you are going to prioritize your health, focus on yourself instead of everyone else. If your solution is that you are going to try harder, we know that trying harder is not a healing plan when it comes to pleasure because you would have done so already. Continuing to try to do it on your own, to focus on a small problem that seems fixable, like changing the way you eat, taking your supplements, seeing more specialists without answers. It is going to be December 2025 before you know it, and you will still be here. All of the women that are joining us for the feminine mentorship still feel the same. And the difference is they said, yes, they have the support, they have a structure that has been proven to improve feminine burnout over the last 3 years that we have been doing this. And the women that have signed up are already seeing changes. They are noticing more energy, more time for themselves, more connection already, already. And we haven't even had our introductory call yet, just from committing and doing the intro modules. You know who you are. Head to the link in the show notes and apply. Let's chat and make sure that this is right for you. Regardless, after our conversation, you're going to leave with your next right step. All right, so the truth. We are burnt out, exhausted, don't really feel like ourselves, desire to be cared for, desire to rest without guilt, desire to do things a different way. But if we're honest, we don't really know what that way is because that way has gotten us burnt out, exhausted, and not feeling like ourselves. So the truth is, until we have done the work to integrate our desires and feminine power, we will end up with feminine burnout. We will be bad doms. We are not good in our yang. We use our yin to deplete our yang. So we're giving up our feminine to fuel the masculine drive. And just like when we're exhausted and don't feel like ourselves, very few super women that can really hold an erotically charged, make somebody like stop what they're doing, get on a plane, get in a car because they have to have you dripping text conversation. And a part of this has to do with our pleasure threshold, which, if you are not sure what I'm talking about, have a listen to episode 121. Has to do with the amount of good that we can tolerate without our nervous systems freaking out, that it will all come crashing down. So I want to give you some examples of what a superwoman's texts look like. So in a long-term relationship, it tends to be polite business. So I'll be home at 6, meeting running late. Maybe we say, see you later, babe, or a little kiss emoji. Our partner might ask us, what do you want for dinner tonight? And hours later, we respond, sorry, got caught up at work. Whatever you think, because we are too overwhelmed to even figure it out. Oftentimes, I see a lot of over giving gratitude and praise because we are trying to make up for our lack of presence in the relationship. So, lots of like, thank you so much, you're the best. What would I do without you? And again, not that these things aren't true, but it lacks the passion and desire. And some of you were even over giving this praise when you were doing 99 out of 100 things. And it just like I can tell from reading those Superwoman's texts that like it's just false, like it's inauthentic gratitude. Some of us are texting with a tinge of crusty. And remember that we are naturally repellent or naturally draining people's energy when we are burnt out, even if we don't want to be. If you don't know what I'm talking about, listen to episode 115, Ancient Wisdom for Modern Women. Actually, listen to the whole series, 115 to 117. And please share it with a friend because we need to be having this conversation, these conversations, these understandings. And then we have single superwomen that usually are very much overthinking or overanalyzing, avoiding. Sometimes they're messaging friends, or my single clients are messaging me how to respond. Does he mean this? Or we're looking for things to write him off ASAP so we can, put our cape back on and proudly do things on our own. And unconsciously, in all of those situations, we are putting the man in the power position, which is very opposite for what superwomen usually do. So, what is a high achieving superwoman supposed to do? Used to conquering any challenge that life throws at us. We are very good in a crisis, but we may find ourselves tiptoeing around the delicate dance of desire when it comes to text. And it is a huge missed opportunity for building desire and connection. Here are a few pitfalls that my clients fall into when trying to dive into sultry sexting. The first is timing. It is good to have an idea of what the person receiving the message is doing. I've had a few women work up the courage to send something suggestive, and their partner was in a meeting or couldn't respond right away. And they were spiraling, waiting for a response. Also, how do we feel about a surprise dick pic? Happened to another one of my clients. They hadn't been intimate in months, and she obviously had been doing this work. Things were starting to heat up, and he sent the dick pic out of the blue. This has happened more than once. And although the intent was good, timing was not so good. So just we want to have a general idea of what is going on. The second, and actually this should probably be the first, but it is consent. It is the foundation of pleasure. We need a person's consent for all forms of sexual activity. So this could be a great way to dip your toe in. You could start with something like, I have something naughty, or I have something spicy on my mind. Can I tell you? Is now a good time to share? Like just, you know, you're already piquing their interest by asking a consent question. The third is start slow. And just this would be my advice for superwomen in general, because we are all or nothing thinkers. We swing for the fences. It gives us a ton of career success, but it doesn't work so well with intimacy. We're not going from messages of, can you move the money because the lease on our car is up, to I want to spank you until you cry in the next minute. Superwomen generally roll their eyes at the pace of my programs at the beginning because it is slow. But this is what it takes to integrate our sexual history, the mother wound, inner child, all the things. and connect the relationship, right? That's what we are working towards, more connection instead of a rupture, fight, awkwardness, crickets. That is worse. So starting slow could look like, I had a dream about you. Leave it there, see where they take it. Or I was listening to the Pleasure Principles podcast and heard something that might be fun to try. Okay. Where we can ramp this up slowly if you have not been sexting. Number 4, be authentic. This is a huge problem. Women, for the most part, do not know what they desire sexually. We haven't even had the permission to explore it. Our sexual health education is not pleasure for women education. It's don't get pregnant, don't get an STI education. It's reproductive health education, which is focused on penis and vagina and the male ejaculating, which, yes, is what is needed to create life, but it is not what is needed to create a connected relationship that intimacy evolves. So we need to be authentic. For a lot of the times, women, super women, right? We want to do things right. We want to be the best partner we could be. So we start saying things that we think we should say, fucking like the way we think we should fuck. No man wants this. Any man who does, like I definitely don't have time for. Men, real men want to see you open. They want to see you responsive. They want to see you dripping in pleasure. And that is not something that you can do without fully exploring and integrating your desires. That is something, that is a woman that they will think about years later. And also, don't be silly because in your all or nothing brain, you're probably thinking that I'm saying that every sexual encounter is supposed to be like this. No. Sometimes quickies with vibrators is all that everyone has time for or even wants. Or mutual masturbation. I can hear the perfectionist brains going. People pick up on when you're being fake energetically. Some work needs to be done here on authenticity, on knowing what we desire, which is why I created my foundational program, Pleasure Principles. If it does not feel authentic, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Don't say it. And I mean, with like a little uncomfortability, if you're not used to sexing, should give you a little anxiety, like an increase in heart rate. That is desire. But if it's like totally offside, don't say it. You know, I want to feel you inside me later. Probably would have made several of the ladies at my retreat blush, but I want to feel you later. I want to feel your skin on mine. Those might be better options, more authentic and more likely to bring you connected instead of like, what is going on with her? And number 5 is try an erotic persona. We just talked about how fake is awkward. Fake is out. I think we're getting over a lot of the fake eyelashes. Like, again, don't trust me on beauty stuff, trends, but I think we're over that. Trying on a persona, a feminine archetype, is something that we use. I don't know, probably many of you have read The Alter Ego Effect, but it's something that we use in the mentorship and in my teachings for us to try things on like clothing to see if they fit, to see if we like it. And these erotic personas are so devoid in our society and culture, it feels foreign. And we don't even have a reference for feminine that feels soft and strong and powerful. So using these erotic personas helps bring those out. So for example, schoolgirl, are you awkward? If you're awkward, then embrace it. Say, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want you to make me come with your tongue. And maybe that's a little too much. So maybe it's, I keep thinking about you grabbing me. If we want a more yang dominant, talk about what you want to do. So I'm going to make you mine tonight. When we get home, I'm going to insert sexual act. Or if we want to try on something a little softer, like feminine, we could say, would you prefer if I wore the dress from our first date with a thong or nothing at all? Or what would you do to me if we were home alone? So please screenshot me your text attempts. I cannot wait to see. Like, screenshot me and send me a DM on Instagram. Cannot wait to see what, intimacy, desire, connection you create. Some of it will be laughable, which is awesome, all part of it. And I can even help you refine. The take home message here is ultimately you can be a CEO, mom, partner, and a fiercely good sexter. Beyond the boardrooms, beyond the deadlines, beyond the endless to dos lies a world of pleasure waiting to be uncovered, waiting to be yours, where you have energy, you are desired, you are pursued, you are cared for. May all of your texts be juicy. Have a great week, everybody. If you like what you heard in this episode, leave me a rating. Your support helps me get discovered by more women like you. Together, we can change the conversation around women's sexual health and pleasure for you, your partners, and generations to come.